British American Tobacco is next. 44 cigarette factories in 39 countries. There's probably a few more since we wrote that. Of course, its prime brands at the top end of its premium portfolio are the big four global drive brands, they call them. This is Dunhill, Kent, Lucky Strike and Pall Mall. So in every country they operate, they try and get as many people to smoke those as opposed to other sort of cigarette that may be available and other cigarettes within their portfolio as well. Market capitalization is at a record high, 1.6 trillion rand. Price to earnings ratio of 18.21, dividend yield of 3.79%. Remember, because of its South African roots with the Rembrandt Group, that is why there's about 10 or 11 or 12% of its market cap here, and it is why it is listed on this market, even though it is a London principally listed entity. Top price globally, what can one say more about these oaks?
Yeah, I think we have to state up front, Paul, that neither you and I are smokers. We think it's a vile and disgusting habit. And having said that, if you actually look at the business case for this one, it's a very simple business case. Yeah. People are still smoking all around the world, surprisingly.
Sales have been strong. Yeah, let's look at the chart while we go to it. You'll see when I say it's at an all-time high here and in London. In London, it's trading at £42 or above, and that translates with the rand being, there you go.
I think the cleverness of BAT it rests on two pillars here. One is their ability to persuade people to move up, or in certain instances to move down, depending on the economic circumstances of the countries in which they operate. But secondly, I think their ability to cut costs is probably unparalleled in the tobacco industry. So that is why I think they've really done so well in the past few years.
Earnings have been very strong, and as you say, they are looking at the future. They've got a e-cigarette brand called Vipe, although I know that e-cigarettes themselves are somewhat controversial. The other interesting thing about them is dividend yield remains pretty strong and moving up at a good lick. They've accentuated or built out their position in the United States of America, which remains still a very big market. It is a global brand, and it is one of those rand hedges that you mentioned earlier. So anything not to like? I mean, would you be buying them at current prices?
Yeah, no, we have had this as a stalwart in our model portfolio for many years now, and we're certainly not looking to downsize that at all.
Yeah, the only sort of small negative, I guess one should note, is that then countries like I saw recently in California, they've raised the age at which you have to be in order to buy cigarettes at all from 18 to 21. So the regulatory threat does remain. And we do know that in countries, the more rich and established countries get, the higher and higher and higher cigarette prices go because of taxes. Okay, I'm going to lean with not hot anyway, just on account of the concerns around the business model, but I buy what you're saying. Okay, we've